1. A common boundary improvement is A. A zoning rule. B. A property tax. C. A structure marking property lines. D. A title document. Answer. C. A structure marking property lines. It is a physical improvement marking a boundary. 2. Which is an example of a common boundary improvement? A. Roof. B. Driveway. C. Foundation. D. Interior wall. Answer. B. Driveway. Explanation. Driveways can act as boundary markers. 3. Most properties typically have how many boundary lines? A. 2. B. 3. Circa 4D 5. Answer. C. 4. Explanation. 3 shared plus 1 frontage line. 4. A party wall is A. Privately owned. B. Government owned. C. Co-owned by neighbors. D. Owned by builder. Answer. C. Co-owned by neighbors. Explanation. It is jointly owned by adjacent owners. 5. A party wall may include A. Only buildings. B. Fences or walls. C. Only interior walls. D. Utilities. Answer. B. Fences or walls. Explanation. Includes fences, walls, or building walls. 6. An owner may remove a party wall, A. Anytime. B. Without notice. C. Only with neighbors' consent. D. After 30 days. Answer. C. Only with neighbors' consent. Explanation. Both owners have rights. Right pointing arrow consent required. 7. An owner may modify a party wall if A. It benefits them. B. Neighbor agrees verbally. C. No damage or interference occurs. D. City approves. Answer. C. No damage or interference occurs. Explanation. Changes cannot harm the wall or neighbor's use. 8. Boundary fences are presumed to A. Benefit only one owner. B. Be government property. C. Benefit both owners equally. D. Be optional. Answer. C. Benefit both owners equally. Explanation. Law assumes equal benefit. 9. Responsibility for fence maintenance is A. One owner. B. City. C. Shared equally. D. Optional. Answer. C. Shared equally. Explanation. Costs are shared unless agreed otherwise. 10. An owner who uses an existing fence must A. Ignore cost. B. Pay full cost. C. Compensate neighbor proportionally. D. Remove fence. Answer. C. Compensate neighbor. Explanation. Must pay pro rata share of value. 11. Fence responsibility can be changed by A. Verbal agreement. B. Written agreement or court order. C. City approval. D. Lender. Answer. B. Written agreement or court order. Only written agreement or court action modifies duty. 12. Ownership of a tree is determined by A. Height. B. Age. C. Trunk location. D. Branches. Answer. C. Trunk location. Explanation. The trunk determines ownership. 13. A tree entirely on one property is A. Jointly owned. B. Government owned. C. Solely owned. D. Public. Answer. C. Solely owned. Belongs to the owner where trunk stands. 14. A tree with trunk on both properties is A. Public tree. B. Nuisance. C. Boundary tree. D. Illegal. Answer. C. Boundary tree. Explanation. Called a line tree or boundary tree. 15. Boundary trees are owned as A. Joint tenancy. B. Tenants in common. C. Sole ownership. D. Leasehold. Answer. B. Tenants in common. Co-owners hold as tenants in common. 16. Maintenance of boundary trees is A. Optional. B. City responsibility. C. Shared responsibility. D. Tenant responsibility. Answer. C. Shared responsibility. Explanation. Both owners must maintain. 17. A co-owner may remove a boundary tree, A. Anytime. B. Without consent. C. Only with consent. D. After notice. Answer. C. Only with consent. Explanation. Both owners must agree. 18. A boundary tree may be removed without consent if it is A. Old. B. Large. C. Nuisance. D. Unattractive. Answer. C. Nuisance. Nuisance allows abatement. 19. A nuisance is A. Legal use. B. Harmless activity. C. Harmful or interfering condition. D. Zoning issue. Answer. C. Harmful or interfering condition. Explanation. It interferes with use or safety. 20. Example of nuisance from trees. A. Shade. B. Fruit. C. Falling branches causing danger. D. Roots underground. Answer. C. Falling branches causing danger. Explanation. Safety hazard equals nuisance. 21. Neighbor installs decoration on party wall without damage. This is A. Illegal. B. Allowed. C. Nuisance. D. Trespass. Answer. B. Allowed. Explanation. Allowed if no interference or damage. 22. One neighbor refuses to repair shared fence. Other can A. Ignore. B. Remove fence. C. Seek court action. D. Do nothing. Answer. C. Seek court action. Explanation. Judicial remedy can enforce responsibility. 23. Tree trunk fully on neighbor's land but branches overhang. Ownership. A. Shared. B. Yours. C. Neighbors. D. City. Answer. C. Neighbors. Explanation. Trunk location determines ownership. 24. A property owner encloses land using neighbor's fence. Result. A. Free use. B. Ownership transfer. C. Must compensate neighbor. D. Illegal. Answer. C. Must compensate neighbor. Explanation. Must pay proportional value. 25. A tree on public sidewalk belongs to A. Adjacent owner. B. Tenant. C. Government. D. Law. Answer. C. Government. Explanation. Trees on public land belong to government.